Oh, okay. uh, Taking the Lord of the universe, Jagat Nata. Nata means Lord in Sanskrit, and Jagat means universe or that which is in flux. Jagat. Universe is always in flux. And it becomes Jagannath by Sanskrit Sandiro. So we're taking him for a stroll. Srila Prabhupada once said like that, taking the Lord for us. The Lord goes for a stroll together with his brother and sister. Yeah. So yes, that's happening all today. Okay, let's jump into our Srila Narottam Das Thakur song. Now I need to first find it. It's going to be here. Okay. I don't know whether I should share this on the screen or everyone has it. Can somebody please advise me? Should I share it on the screen? Yes, no, maybe.
Everybody has it with their Guru Maharaj, but if you want, you can also share, or I can also share on the screen.
Let's you share it on the screen because that way
Yes, okay.
it's a little simpler for me, I think. Yeah,
Brilliant.
good. And last time we went through verse 10, was it? We did 1 through 5, and then did we do 6? We did 6 through 10, didn't we?
I forgot, Guru Maharaj.
That was a long time ago.
Yes.
Govinda Ananda Damaye. Adamaye, that can't be right. Nikate Vanita Choy. Bihare Madhura Ati Shobha. Dunhu Prema. There's printing mistakes. This gets annoying. Well, maybe it's not a mistake. Dagamagi. Dagamagi. Dunhu Donha Anuragi. Dunhu Rupa Dunhu Manoloba. Yeah, I think we did that. What was Dagamagi? Dagamagi. There's in Bengali, there's some funny like repetition words like that. Surrounded by the gopis and very handsome and charming, Lord Govinda is full of transcendental bliss. The divine couple is beautiful, charming, and overcome with passionate love. Overcome with passionate love, that might be Dagamagi. We're learning Bangla as we go along, Bengali. Anyway, let's start with verse 11. Vrajapura vanitāra chorana āśraya sāra koromana ekānta koriyā anya bola ganda gola na śunaho uttarola rākho prema bhariyā. Now I have to sort of jump back and forth. O mind, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Vrajagopis. Don't listen to the useless din of the materialists' words. Fill my heart with pure love for the divine couple. fill my heart. Don't listen to the din. Let's see, what was that? Vanitāra charana āśraya. Koroman ekānta koriyā. Anya bola. Ganda gola. Okay. Anya means other. And bola, speaking. Ganda gola probably means useless talk. Na śunaho, don't listen. Uttarola, I don't know. Rākho prem hridaya bhariyā. Rākho, keep or protect. Prema, love. Hridaya, bhariyā. Bhariyā, by holding, I think. Hridaya, in the heart. So this whole song, of course, Narottam is, this is part of his bigger project in this collection of songs, the Prema Bhakti Chandrika, the little moon Chandrika of Prema Bhakti, of devotional love. And he's giving a kind of, I don't want to call it a catechism, but he's summarizing very much the whole sort of sambandha abhideya prayojana, the whole what it's about, what we're about, what to do to attain the goal, and what is the goal. And this song is kind of directing us toward bhava, toward devotional emotion. And therefore, he uses sometimes the imperative form, śunaho, na śunaho, don't listen to what the anya, what other people are saying. Vrajapura vanitāra, charana āśraya sāra. Āśraya means shelter, sāra means essence, and charana is interesting because it kind of comes to mean feet, but feet, spiritual feet, glorious feet, feet that are worshipable because they go. But where do they go? They go in only in spiritual ways. Koroman ekānta koriyā. Koriyā is gerund. Yeah, gerund. And ekānta, singularity, with my mind completely focused. Yes, we have with us a practiced, accomplished meditator. Janet is our live audience. She's representing all of you live here today, and she's very much into dhyana, isn't it? Meditation. Yeah, she's done some interesting meditations.
Hare Krishna.
So, okay, Govind, that was number 11. Krishna Prabhu eka-bara, koriben angikar, jano mono shakto bachan, dhanya lila brindavan, radha-krsna-sri-carana, dhanya sakhi manjari-gana. Krishna Prabhu eka-bara. Okay, that's number 12. Oh mind. Oh, we have them now on the side. Good. O mind, just this one time accept Lord Krishna as your supreme master. I tell you the truth, Sri Radha and Krishna's lotus feet are supremely glorious. Gikar Jenoman E Satyabachan Danya Lila Vrindavana. Their land of Vrajapura is glorious. Danya, I think, is being translated here as glorious. And their friends, the sakhi-gopis and manjari-gopis, are glorious. Danya Lila Vrindavan, radha-krsna-sri-carana, danya sakhi manjari-gana. Yeah, this manjari is a possessive form of the manjaris, of the collection of manjaris. Gana means a group. Yeah, and danya is being translated here by our translator. I want to say his name, but it's slipping my mind. Anyway, his translation, he's translating as glorious, so that's nice. 13, Papa Punya Moy Deha Sakaleyi Anitya Eha Dhana Jana Shaba Micha Dhanda Marile Jaibe Kota Ihate Na Pao Bata Tabu Niti Koro Karjo Mondo. This material body, Deha, which one attains because of previous pious and impious deeds, Papa Punya Moy, is temporary. Shakaleyi Anitya. Okay, and the foolish attempt by all conditioned souls to accumulate more and more wealth, dhana, is a clever trick of the illusory potency of Maya. Dhan, jan, shab, micha. Micha, I guess is from the Sanskrit mitya. Mitya means kind of useless or without substance. Well, we could look it up. Hold on. Mityachara. Hold on. And dictionary. If I can spell it right. Yeah. Yes. All right. Munir Williams always gives more than we want. It's used as an adjective. Invertedly, contrarily, incorrectly, wrongly, improperly, etc., etc. Okay. And then with different contexts, joined with different words. Mitya with bu is to turn out or prove false, not in reality, only apparently, to no purpose, fruitlessly. Yeah, fruitlessly, it's often used that way. In vain. Okay, so I think that fruitlessly in vain idea is what we have here. Where did we go? There. Okay. Micha danda. Marile jaibe kota. When the material body dies, marile, what will happen to all the carefully collected wealth? Kota, I don't know, in modern Bengali, it would be kotai, is the question word where. So where is it gone? Where will it go? Marile, when there is death. Where will it go? O mind, don't work day and night with a great struggle simply to collect money. Ihate, iha means here or now. Na pao byata, don't make a, byata means trouble, I think. Tabu niti koro karja manda. O mind, don't work day and night with a great struggle simply to collect money. You are so foolish that you constantly work for such a fleeting goal. Karja manda. Manda means slow. And what else does it mean? Bad. Let's look it up. I'm taking from the Sanskrit dictionary because these are really Sanskrit words used in Bengali. I'm guessing this is retroflex. Whoops. Manda. Maybe it's not. Okay. Let's try. Yes, here we are. Okay. Again, Monier Williams. That Oxford scholar of the late 19th century, whose purpose in composing a Sanskrit dictionary was for the British to bring Christianity to India. That was his motivation. But despite his intentions, he actually prepared a quite good dictionary. So much so that it's become and continues to be since 1899 the sort of standard dictionary of Sanskrit used by many scholars. Okay, so manda means slow, tardy, moving slowly or softly, loitering, idle, lazy, sluggish, in locative case or compound, apathetic, phlegmatic, indifferent, and so on. Second group of meanings: weak, slight, slack, dull, faint, as light, low, as a voice, gentle, as rain or wind, feeble, as the digestive faculty. Okay. Can also mean dull-witted, silly, stupid, foolish, unhappy, miserable, languid, ill, sick, bad or wicked, drunken, addicted to intoxication. Whew. Yeah. So there's the verse in Bhagavatam, prayen alpayusa sabya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadruta. In this age of Kali, people have short lives, alpa ayusha, quarrelsome, and they are manda, they're slow and weak and dull-witted and silly and all these things. Sumanda mati, and their minds are especially dull and slow and wicked and silly and stupid. Manda bhagya, and they're unfortunate, and upadruta, which Prabhupada translates as always disturbed. But now I'm wondering, what does this thing say? Upadruta. Oh, here it says tyrannized over, run after, persecuted, attacked, oppressed. So in this age in which we find ourselves, people have short lives, are slow, etc., and upadruta, they are persecuted and attacked and oppressed. Yeah, Prabhupada says always disturbed, so he can say disturbed by persecution, etc. But back to where we are. Yeah, tabu niti koro karja manda. You are so foolish that you constantly work for such a fleeting goal. Okay, 14. Rajar je Vrajapato jeno natujar nato dakite kichunoi hanomaya koreje parama isharase tare mono shoda koro bhaya. A monarch's kingdom is just like the dramatic performance of an actor. Rajarje Raja Pato, although one sees them, they are never actually real. Natujar, Natujar Nata. Nata, I think, is an actor. Nata. Nata. Not the same as nata. But only a pretense arranged by the illusory energy of Maya. O mind, don't pay attention to these false material things. Dakite kichu noi. So kichu means at all or any, and noi is a negative. Don't. Dakite, seeing. No, don't. Don't see. Oh mind, don't pay attention to these false material things. Fix your mind always on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Fear His displeasure. In the Christian tradition, they speak of fear of God. One should have good, healthy fear of God. Yeah. Fear His displeasure. Don't be concerned with other things. Hanomaya koreje Parama Ishvara say. Okay, so the Parama Ishvara, the Supreme Lord or Controller, Sei is this, of what is, of that which is Maya, Hano Maya, such Maya, Koreje, who does this, that is the Supreme Lord. Tare mana, O mind, with regard to that, Shada koro, baya. Always, literally, always do fear. Do the fearing. Koro is the imperative. Do it. And sada means always. Always be fearful of God. I think the idea is have a proper respect, knowing that he's the controller of Maya. O mind. Okay, we'll just end with number 15. Papa na kariho mana, odama se papi jana, tare mui dure parihari, punya je shukir dhama taro na loi ho nama, punya mukti dui tyaga kori. O mind, don't sin. Stay far away from sinful persons. Papa na koriho mon. Adama she papi jana. So adama means, something like low class people or people who are who have no position, I think is literal. Tare moi dure parihari. Don't work to attain material piety. Punya je suker dam taro na loihona. Don't work to attain material piety, the resting place of material happiness. Don't strive for the false liberation imagined by the impersonalists. Lailanam punya mukti. Dui tyag. Oh, okay. Punya and mukti. So piety and liberation. Dui, both. Tyag kori. Do the renunciation of them. Don't be desiring them. That's the idea. So like this, Narottama is giving so much, much of it in the imperative mood. Do like this, don't do like that. You want to attain the sweet lotus feet of the Lord, then there is a process. So we don't have a harmonium today. What to do? Well, one thing we could do is we can chant with kartals.
Guru Maharaj, can you unmute yourself, please? Thank you.
How's that? Yeah. Sorry for this lapse. Don't know how it happens. I was just about to show off my special kartals from China. They are the best sounding of any that I've ever heard.
So good.
Yeah, they're really... Okay, so we're going to have simple singing this time. But first I have to get the song back. Okay, starting with verse 11. Okay. So everyone is welcome to join in. Now, you don't have the words, though, over there. Maybe Susan can get it online for you, so you can read. Vrajapura vanitāra carana āśraya sāra. Vrajapura vanitāra carana āśraya sāra. Koromana ekānta koriyā. Koromana ekānta koriyā. Anya bola agola śunaho uttarola. Anya bola agola śunaho uttarola. Rākho prema daya bhariyā. Rākho prema daya bhariyā. Krishna prabhu eka-bara koriyā angikara. Krishna prabhu eka-bara koriyā angikara. Jenoman esatya bachana. Jenomana esatya bachana. Danya lila Vrindavana radha-krsna-sri-carana. Danya lila Vrindavana radha-krsna-sri-carana. Danya sakhi manjari-gopis. Back. Sorry about that. Let's see. We're in the wild country of Crikvenica, so you never know. Okay. Balkans, yeah. Papa punya maya deha sakale anitya deha. Papa punya maya deha sakale anitya deha. Danya jana shabamicha dhanda. Dana jana sabamicha danda. Marile jaide kota ihatena paobyata. Marile jaide kota ihatena paobyata. Tabuniti koro karja manda. Tabuniti koro karja manda. Raja raja rajapat jena natu yara nata. Raja raja rajapat jena natu yara nata. Dakite dakite kichunoya. Dakite dakite kichunoya. Heno maya korije parama ishvara se. Heno maya korije Parama ishara se thare mana sada koro baya. Thare mana sada koro baya. Papa na kori ho mana adama se tapi jan. Papa na kori ho man adama se papi jan. Thare moi dure pari hari. Thare moi dure pari hari. Punya jesu keradan. Thara na logi ho nam. Punya jesu keradan. Thara na logi ho nam. Punya mukti dui chaga kori. Punya mukti dui chaga kori. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo. Okay, something like that. Yeah. Now in a few minutes, let me change this back. View. In a few minutes, we have a surprise special guest. And before we have our surprise special guest, whom I'm meeting for the first time, I must confess, I don't know how she pronounces her name, Sukhavaha. It actually should be Sukhavaha by Sanskrit, but she's my god sister. She's in New Vrindavan, Mangala Chandrika.
Thank you very much. Yes, she lives in New Vrindavan.
Okay.
Correctly.
Yeah, and she's going to speak to us about herself, especially, I would say, in relation to the subject of what we call devotee care. She has been very much engaged in this subject. She should be coming on in a few minutes, but meanwhile, from me, a bit of show and tell. I guess many of you may already know, but I'm happy to kind of announce that the book, Yoga and Animal Ethics, is now out. It's available. It's open access, which means if you don't mind reading something online, I mean something digital, you can download it, but it's available free of charge. Otherwise, the hardbound book is a little expensive. It's close to 54 euros, which is actually still inexpensive for a hardbound academic publisher book. Usually they would be more than twice that, but still it's kind of stiff price. But digital is free of charge. And it's been out for 3 days now, maybe 4. And it's had 1,300 downloads so far, according to the publisher's metrics. So that's kind of fun to watch the metrics sometimes. And there was another thing I wanted to share with you. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah. Just briefly, you may like to see, as also many of you know, I was in China recently and giving lectures, mainly universities and some other institutes. So I thought you might like to see. This was from our last lecture at the Art Museum in Hangzhou. And this was after the presentation. You see us lined up. This is a favorite China thing to do in China, is everyone gets lined up and we take group photos. It's like absolute requirement. The gentleman you see to my left, or looking this way to the right, I'm forgetting his name now. Anyway, he's the professor who hosted us. And next to him is Siddhadeha Prabhu, a long-time devotee who's also a kind of independent scholar. So I presented, and then also, yeah, we're trying to guess why these disconnects are happening, and we're thinking maybe because the internet is very busy. But I thought people would be out swimming now. They're not using the internet. They're swimming with their mobile phones. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. What else? Yeah, that's it from me. Again, nice to see you all. Anupama, how are you doing?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Believe it or not, it's getting very hot here in Belgium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's a big change since I moved here. And
Yeah.
every summer it's getting more and more hot. But we're
Quiet.
also looking forward to go down to Croatia in 2 weeks.
And get hotter.
Yeah, but there is AC there.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay.
and I'm very happy and very grateful that we're gonna have Sukhavaha Devi today because I've been blessed with her association for the last couple of months.
Oh,
First through her books, and then later through the course, and then also on individual basis. So I'm so happy that other devotees will also gain access to this valuable resource in our society.
oh, good. Okay. Nice, nice. Well, that's a nice introduction for her. That's certainly a promotion, so to say. So she's written some books.
Yeah, she's written 4 books so far. Her first book is about her personal experience of being kidnapped by her parents and deprogrammed
Oh,
back in the days. And then I'm mostly reading them just next to me. Her 2 books about personal how to. Yeah, these books are available, I guess, on Amazon, and I got them here in our local BLS bookstore. What I discovered her a few months ago, she was doing a podcast with Swami Padmanabha, and one sentence she said, it really kind of caught my attention, and I immediately had to find who is this person. And she said that we tend to paste truth on pile of lies. Like especially we want to paste Krishna consciousness, which is absolute truth, on piles of lies. And that's not going to work. You never can't paste truth on the pile of lies. Which means that we have to really go deep down and examine our personal life and different emotional or whatever packages we have been carrying and burdens. And that's part of spiritual life. It's not something which is unnecessary or even Maya, as sometimes devotees would dare to label.
So to put it another way, we need to work on ourselves. We were talking about this at breakfast. Right? Is that the idea, Anupama?
Yeah, definitely. It's and she's basing her 2 books on Bhagavad Gita, so it's
Okay.
it's a perfect match of our philosophy and also psychology. And I really liked, like, Mahatma Prabhu wrote endorsement for her book, for her books, and he wrote something like, if you have a need to study psychology or read psychological books on psychology, just read Sukhavaha's books. She did the whole research. Everything is there. Yeah, she did all the work.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you. Okay. Alakananda, nice to see you. Yeah, you are muted, so we don't hear you, but we see you. Ah, there. Yes. Okay. Now we can hear you.
My basis is
Hare Krishna. Maybe we see you at the Serbian camp one day. Soon.
maybe.
You can slip away and come there.
Yeah, I have some time now, but there is nobody going for one day. I would like to come for one day, but let's see. I'm trying to arrange something.
Okay. Hoping it works out for you. Good. Who else do we see here?
Guru Maharaj, Sukhavaha Mataji came already.
Oh, okay. So let's proceed immediately. There. Sukhavaha Mataji.
Hi, Krishna, my obeisances, Maharaj.
Obeisances to you. Greetings. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
It's my privilege and honor to be here in your association. Thank you.
Are you speaking from New Vrindavan at present?
I'm 1 mile away from the temple. Yes, that's where
Okay, so what time is it there?
It's at almost 8 in the morning. Yeah.
Hope it's not too early for you.
Oh, no, I just finished a class. I wanted to come on your class earlier and hear from speaking, but I
No.
was just doing another class with people in India. So
Oh, so people are keeping you busy. You're the word is spreading about it's spreading about yourself. So before we talk, maybe I explain a little of the context of your being with us to some of those who are here on this call. They may be a little bit wondering, although I think I mentioned last week, I became concerned about this, what we're kind of calling devotee care, as something that is a good thing to pay attention to. Surprise, surprise, right? But I was thinking specifically, we have different groupings of devotees. We have, temples, and we have, various sorts of communities. And of course, they're very fluid. But I thought also one such community is the guru-disciple community. And I thought in that context, it's only right and proper that I encourage that we give attention to this. And I explained this some weeks ago to a few devotees that if for no other reason, we're all getting older. And it comes more and more frequently that I hear about devotees, physical challenges from the aging process and so on, but all sorts of challenges are there. So in this context, then, a few of us became interested to give more attention, and here in particular, Mangala Chandrika has come into contact with you, Sukhavaha Mataji, and we're fortunate for that. We've been hearing from Mangala Chandrika about your glories. And just minutes ago, we also heard from Anupama Devi about your glories. And she just showed us 2 books that you have written, but she said you've written 4 books. So I guess we can hear more about your books, but what I would suggest now is maybe you can tell us a bit about your journey in this area that you have become especially focused on. And please keep 2 things in mind. One is we have translators, so to not speak too fast. And the other is, at any moment, we could get cut off from the connection. And we decided to blame this on the fact that I'm in Croatia in the Balkans. But we don't know. We're hoping the best. We've only been cut off 3 or 4 times so far. Okay, so with that introduction, Hare Krishna, thank you again for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel very blessed to meet you. I didn't know anything about you, so I was listening to one of your classes last night to just familiarize myself with you. And, I just want to put a disclaimer in. I'm not a scholar, and I really honor how, you're able to, take scripture and really bring it down to be receivable by everyone. So I'm grateful for that and grateful to meet you. As far as my journey goes, I learned a lot about Krishna consciousness through experience. So when I first came to New Vrindavan in 1974, and this is where I grew up in Krishna consciousness, and it was somewhat of a strict, tough environment, and so there was a lot of work to be done, physical work to build New Vrindavan, and so we were even told that reading or wanting to read excessively was Maya, and work. The motto was work now, samadhi later.
Right, I remember.
Yeah.
In German, they had this motto in German language: Arbeit macht frei. Work makes you free.
Yes. And there are places where that can help as young persons with a lot of energy. It's sometimes good to engage the body and physically, do many things to engage that energy in a positive way rather than getting distracted. So, and what I didn't really, I mean, I worked really hard, but we were also taught almost that, you know, like renunciation was the big thing. And so even householders were expected to be somewhat renounced. And so when my children were like 1, 3, and 5, I was asked to go out and collect funds for the temple. And so they got put in the care of different mothers. My son had already been in the Gurukula ashram since he was just a little over 4. He went into the ashram, but then my other daughters were moved from mother to mother. So, you know, and now when I look at little kids, I'm like, what was I thinking? And then I realized I wasn't thinking. I was following and doing what I thought was right. You know, I was following the instructions of the then leader. Luckily, there are many mature and balanced leaders now. You're being one of them. And, you know, this is really so helpful for us to integrate Krishna consciousness in our life. But anyway, we had that kind of that. And so after 27 years of doing all the right things, working hard, renouncing my kids, surrendering, I had kind of a breakdown. Thank you, Krishna. It was excruciating, and all of my suppressed emotions came up, and I was kind of angry at Krishna. I'm like, wait a minute, I should be a pure devotee by now, considering the amount of austerities I performed. You know, what happened? Did I miss something? And I even wanted to kill myself. I was so distraught. However, thanks a lot, Krishna, I can't even do that. So now what? So over the years after that, I did tell him, you need to show me what you want me to see, because I'm clueless. If you want me to get something that I didn't get, please show me. So I went through I had to kind of go outside of the temple, because when I was going through that struggle, the help that I got was, you're in Maya. And I said, no kidding. I know I'm in Maya. Can you tell me something that can help me out of this mess that I'm in, which I have no idea even what the mess is? Can you help me? Just chant. I'm chanting. It's not working. So I didn't realize that actually the chanting had worked. And what the chanting did was to bring up all the stuff that had been unresolved in my face all at once. So then, but then how to resolve all of that. And I know there's a lot of devotee care. I know at some temples, a lot of it is focused on physical care and taking people to doctors, which is part of it. And I was doing devotee care in New Vrindavan for a while, but it wasn't what my calling was, because I don't feel that because I know how it felt to not have people to help me when I was going through that quandary. I just feel that it's so important to have people to talk to when you're going through confusing times, to kind of sort it out. Like, what is this? Am I just in Maya? Is it just awful? Is it just awful? Am I just a bad devotee, or what? So Krishna showed me many things. I went through many learning modalities, classes. I did a lot with nonviolent communication, studied and integrated things in my life little by little, took little steps, changed my relationships. And at one point I realized I had to I was still living in the temple. after 30 years in the temple zone, because I thought that's the most surrendered person. And then after that, I realized that actually I'm institutionalized and I'm codependent, and I need to learn how to take care of myself. I didn't see any old age program. That was about 20 some years ago. I didn't see any old age program in the movement. And I said, I don't want to be an angry old lady. Let me learn how to take care of myself. And so I've been learning little by little to take care of myself. And from that place, you know, being able to hear other people going through things that I've gone through. And, you know, that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then COVID came and I had an idea. See, Krishna always tricks me about writing books. I wrote one in 2012 about compassion because I was helping another devotee write their book, and then it didn't turn out. And so then I asked, I didn't want that 2 years of work to go to waste. So I said, can I make this my own book? And I'll take out your part. And he said, fine. And so I did that. So that was a trick by Krishna, because I wasn't even thinking about writing a book. And then COVID came, and I had a lot of information and experiences, and I would share them sometimes with people, but I thought, let me download this now. It's COVID time. I thought it was going to be simple. It took 2 years, and kind of just put it all in the books. And then I published it I printed it in India and sold some copies. And I had no idea if I was going to be banned from ISKCON, or if I had no idea what was going to with the book, but it seems that people who have read it, it seems to be helping. And so I'm grateful for that. So that's kind of it in a little nutshell. I try to make it short. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I think I did.
No, I think you're fine. Yes, Tira Lalita has her thumb up. Her thumb.
I do talk fast sometimes. That's something I'm working on. So I'm open to, sharing, through questions or, yeah.
Yeah, we can open to questions from others. Maybe you emphasize taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you want to help devotees to recognize that it's possible to take care of oneself, and that it's not Maya to take care of oneself. Do you want to maybe sketch out some essential points in that regard?
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. I was taught, and probably even as a child, there were some hints at, because my father was a minister, and he used to help a lot of migrant workers. So somehow I got this belief, which I didn't know I had until I was 50, that if I had anything more than anybody else, I was selfish. And
before you continue, let me explain the word minister, because almost everyone here listening, English is a second language. And minister generally means Protestant, something like priest, but it's a person who ministers a church. Because there's political ministers, and somebody may think that that's what you're talking about.
Right. Yes. A pastor. Yes, a priest. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, please.
No, that's great. So, and then you come to Krishna consciousness, and you're taught, we should be selfless. And that term gets really misconstrued, first of all, because we are a self. Krishna made us a self. He gave us an identity. He gave us that. And and we're kind of trapped in this material body, which is very disconcerting for the soul. Like, what do I do with this? And so, I put a definition in my book of selfless, having no concern for oneself, and then selfish is having no concern for others. And I use the word self-aware. So when we're self-aware, we can see what I need and, maybe what another person needs. And I can see if I'm able to support that person or not. But if I'm not grounded in my own self and I go out trying to help other people, it can become more like a savior complex, like, I'm going to help you, you're broken, and I'm going to take care of you and help you. And it's not coming from a place of, oh, yes, I've been there and it's very difficult, and let's talk about this. And how can I, quote unquote, help anybody if I don't even know how to take care of myself? It's and also, this is the personhood that I'm responsible for. Krishna gave me this human life to become self-aware and to become self-realized. And if I'm so busy taking care of everything out here, and I don't pay any attention to what's going on inside of me, I might end up being an angry old lady. I might end up being resentful. I might end up being, all kinds of things, because my needs aren't being taken care of. So another term that is sometimes not brought up in our movement is the term boundaries. And in temples, I know I lived in one for 30 years, there doesn't seem to be any boundaries, because you're in the temple, you're full-time devotee, so whatever you're asked for is coming from Krishna, and you should just do it because Krishna's asking you to do it. And there's no boundaries. There's no I shouldn't say no boundaries. That was my experience. There were no boundaries. I think in temples there are some boundaries. Oh, you're sick. Okay, you can take care of yourself. However, the definition of boundaries that I like is the distance at which I can love myself and love you simultaneously. And if I don't love myself, and I'm angry at myself or shaming myself or unconscious of what I even need, my help is going to come from maybe a motivated place of wanting to get some kudos and feeling needed and feeling appreciated. And if I don't appreciate myself, how can I really appreciate another? And if I don't respect myself, how can I fully respect another? And I'll be grasping for respect from others if I don't respect myself. So how can I get myself handled? And then from that place, offer, share maybe what I've learned. So anyway,
that's an interesting definition of boundaries.
Yeah.
Sociologists often talk about boundaries. They say a society is constantly defining and redefining its boundaries of who belongs within a given group and who is an outsider of the group. So there might be something of that in what, not so directly with what you're saying about boundary, but I'm thinking about the anxiety that one may feel of the need to belong,
Yes.
and that can be taken advantage of.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a danger. One thing I'm just off the top of my head, and so I may be bouncing around a bit.
Great.
But since quite many years, it has seemed to me that there's a particular problem of temple communities with regard to women residents in the matter of them gradually becoming quite disempowered and sort of and becoming a serious problem in many cases for the temple, because they become dependent.
Yeah.
And I sometimes wondered maybe a better approach would be to say, well, ladies are welcome in the temple for a given period of time, a specified period of time, to get, Srila Prabhupada often called it training.
Yes, yes.
But okay, so a specified period of time so that one is already thinking during that time in the temple, okay, this time is going to be at an end. What am I going to do next?
Yes.
And maybe getting counseling, and if someone is, of course, if someone is married, that'll be much different than if someone is not.
Yeah. I hear you. And yes, it's called institutionalized.
Yeah.
And I was institutionalized, and it really was disconcerting when I realized that Krishna was telling me that the next step was for me to leave the temple. And I had no money, no house, no car. I did have a little money because the year before the tax accountant said, you need to start earning money, otherwise you're not going to get any Social Security. I'm like, okay, thank you, Krishna. So, yeah, how to create empowerment, and not just for women, although I know that, and I've been in that role. I worry sometimes even about brahmacharis also being institutionalized, but we're not going to talk about that now. But the system of like, oh, you're fully surrendered, you're living in the temple, you're the best, but actually creating disempowerment and like kind of like a dependency which is unhealthy dependency, and not allowing that person to grow into their full expression of what they have to offer from their own heart and their own dharma, like that. So yeah, how can we empower people to be, the devotees to be independently thoughtful and to grow and expand? Because even if you look at the parampara, very different personalities who express themselves in very many different ways. And even in our current society, so many different gurus who focus in so many different ways, which are all valid and important. And if it's not inspiring and we're just surrendering and stuffing our own emotions and creativity and desires, because you shouldn't have any desire, you should just do what you're told. Wow, we're going to be angry old ladies.
What happened here? Oh, yeah. On the other side, I want to say that amongst this Sangha that we are now in here on Zoom, I think the great majority of us are not temple residents. And we might want to say also demographics over the last few decades has gone very much outside the temples. But what would you say with regard to self-help in those contexts?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I like that you're guiding me. I'm grateful for that. Because I could go all over the place. Self-care becomes, self-awareness. And nonviolent communication really helped me a lot. I pass out these little cards with feelings and needs are, being able to understand what it is I'm feeling and using that feeling as a means to point to what is it that I need really helps to give a perspective on what is the next thing for me to do to develop my Krishna consciousness. What is the next step and the next step and the next step? So becoming aware of just what I'm feeling and what I'm needing. Now, it's not that women don't know how to feel. We feel, but we may not be able to name our feelings, which means we can just be overwhelmed by the feeling and being overcome by the feeling. And feelings actually point us to what it is we're needing. Just like if my arm hurts, there's some pain, that's a feeling. It's telling me, hey, pay attention, look at where you're hurting. Oh, you cut yourself. Oh, you need to take care of that. So on the physical level, we can get that, but we somehow think that the emotional level is something to be pushed away and disregarded, and it's sentimentalism and it's Maya. And actually, it's Krishna designed the feelings to help us, to give us information. So when we can name a feeling, even studies have shown 50% of the emotion comes down just being able to name it, because now you can look at it rather than just be surrounded by it. So then you can look at it. Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty angry right now. Okay, what do I need? Well, I need some choice. Everybody's telling me what to do, and they're not even asking me what I want to do. I'm just making this up. I need some choice. How could I find some choice? Or I need some empowerment. Where could I find empowerment? So that's one level. And the other level is even physically. We put our needs on the back burner, especially women. As women, not that men don't, but as women, we put our needs on the back burner because we're busy taking care of other people. And sometimes even our need for sleep, our need for eating, nutritious food. And these are just simple things, but boy, do they really help. We are in a body, we're not the body, but when we take care of the body, it can function much more efficiently. And when it functions much more efficiently,
surprise.
when it functions more efficiently, our mind is less disturbed. Okay, now we've got a little bit of that handled. And when our mind is less disturbed, then there's more space to, think about Krishna. So.
Now, as a devil's advocate, I will say that all of this about needs is really the whole problem. You should recognize that every time you think you have a need, that's Maya, because there's only one need. There's only one need, and that is Krishna consciousness.
Okay, so that's a little in a box, but yes, beautiful. I love the devil's advocate. So sometimes we think of needs as material desires. Sometimes we think that way. Needs, actually, there's a lot of needs connected to our spirituality. So we have a need for identity. We do have an identity. Krishna gave us an identity. I don't know who I am, but I know that I have an identity. And in this life, I've designed a certain identity to function in this life, but I have a need for identity because that gives me some security. That gives me some grounding on which to stand, on which to function in this world. If I don't know who I am, I could be schizophrenic. I could be a vegetable sitting in the corner because I don't know who I am. So we need some sense of security. And we need some sense of identity, you know. We have a need for relationship. We have a need for love. We have a need for connection, belonging. We have a need for, you know, like you were talking about, belonging, acceptance, and care. We have a need for serving. We have a need for meaning and purpose in life. Even when I was 13 and I didn't know about Krishna, I was like, well, I'm just going to get a job, grow up and have kids, and that's life. I might as well kill myself now because I can see there's a lot of problems in that. So we need meaning and purpose. We need some, you know, purpose to grow into. And we need growth. We need growth, actually, because if we're not growing, we're dying. If you look at any living plant, I will take plants or trees, every year you see new shoots. And if you see something that's dead, you know, it's dying. So
didn't Bob Dylan say, what was it? He who's not busy living is busy dying, something like that.
Wow. Yeah. It kind of, and Krishna consciousness is alive, and Krishna is alive in our hearts. And if we don't have a sense of aliveness, you know, we might just be stuck and just tolerating, because I'm supposed to tolerate. I'm just stuck and tolerating and frustrated and I'm being a devotee because I'm really humble, I'm really fallen, and I'm really tolerating, so I must be a devotee. But we're not happy. And that's the other part of the formula. Krishna consciousness and service is joyfully performed. So how to, you know, honor all these aspects. And so when we can really learn to take care of the needs we have inside, this variegated needs for meaning and purpose and creativity and aliveness and enthusiasm and we can grow much more efficiently and joyfully. Even nice. In Krishna consciousness.
Even in Krishna consciousness. That's nice. Thank you. Maybe at this point we should, as they say, open it up for questions from all of you.
I loved your questions. Thank you, Maharaj. You really guided it nicely.
So everyone who's online now, you're welcome to ask Mother Sukha. I want to pronounce your name Sukhavaha.
That's fine. Sukhavaha. Yeah.
Yeah, some will say Sukhavaha, but it's Sukhavaha. Mangala Chandrika.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for this very enlivening discussion and explaining the things that you were working on for so many years. And Guru Maharaj, thank you for asking questions which were very pertinent. I'm now in the course of reading the 2 books because I really want a little bit dig in. I'm very happy. And Upama was a little bit speaking about you already. She definitely knows you much better. and has been working on things with you. One thing that struck me in the book was when you were speaking about the first step, on becoming more aware, because your main point is self-care means becoming self-aware. Otherwise, we might always be missing the actual point while we're searching for things and where the needs come from and so on. And if the first step was being honest, or there's another term you use, which I don't have right now.
Integrity is the first step that keeps us a kind of in alignment with our values. And then self-honesty is, am I in integrity or am I not in integrity? Like that. Yeah. So those two. Yeah.
So, what struck me, you said, so in the book, you've really nicely described in a trial, three people speaking amongst themselves, which makes it very dynamic. And what you say is that the one step in attaining self-honesty is to say what you mean and mean what you say. And I think it's a powerful step to self-awareness. So I don't know if you want to say something about that. And we have some questions in the chat for later as well.
Yes. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So say what you mean is really about being clear. And a lot of times we aren't clear. We just say, oh, you're so mean, but I'm not clear that I'm feeling frustrated and I have a need for self-expression. Instead, I gotta blame you for talking and being the way you are, because that's what you learned to be. I'm not taking personal responsibility. So say what you mean, instead of blaming another person. When I can take personal responsibility, I'm feeling a little frustrated right now. I have a need for some expression, and maybe that person is open to expressing and maybe they're not. But I don't have to blame the other person. And if they're not open to me expressing, let me find somebody who is open to hearing me so I can express. So saying what I mean, are you willing to let me say my perspective on what we were talking about? And then the person can say yes or no, and then we can determine but it makes things more clear, because if I'm just deflecting my pain by saying you're mean, then I'm probably creating some pain for you. Nobody likes to be called mean. And then they might come back and deflect back on me. And now we're having an argument and we're completely distracted and we're not clear at all. So mean what you say, and say what you mean is about integrity. So if I say, I'm going to come to this class and, I want to come and I want to be on time. And then you invited me to come early and I would have come earlier, but I was in the middle of another. So yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm going to come here and I'm going to be on time. And, integrity, the more we can hold even integrity in small things like being on time. People think it's not a big deal, not a big deal. But if we can't hold integrity in small things, how will we hold the integrity inside of us to keep our deeper vows, that are our vows to Krishna and our alignment with our own soul, when maybe we can hide that and nobody can see that? So say what you mean and mean what you say. Mean what you say means walk your talk. Live what you're aligned with. And it starts with the little things in life. That's it.
Thank you so much. It connects a lot with the fact that if I want to mean what I say, I have to actually be aware of where I am, what I'm about, and
what I'm saying and what I'm promising. That's why I put everything on my schedule. If I say I'm going to meet with someone, I got to put it on my schedule, because otherwise I'm going to forget and then I'm going to break my integrity. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So do you want to call on people?
I can call on people, but I can see already we're not going to have enough
have
time.
enough time. Yeah.
But I first saw Divyambara's hand, so maybe
Yes.
Divyambara, if you want it.
Yes. Yes. Divyambara from New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj and everybody.
Hari,
And
Hari.
welcome to Sukhavaha Prabhu. Thank you so much for being with us. And personal thank you. You definitely walk your talk in terms of taking care of devotees with me, especially. Every time you come to New York, you always check on me and make sure that you see me. And you, yes, thank you. You've guided me for so many years, and I'm eternally grateful to you. I'm sorry I cannot put my video on because I'm not ready to show my face yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So as you were speaking, I was kind of thinking how self-awareness is perhaps the first step to self-realization that we seek. And in the process of self-awareness, would you speak a little bit about the transition time when we start to wake up, so to say, and we start to acknowledge our feelings and our needs, but we're still kind of confused of what to do with them. And we don't know who to talk to. We don't, what's happening to me. We feel this inner shift.
Yes.
We're not fully, we don't know what to do. And this transition time can be very tricky because for some devotees, it may mean that they need to disconnect fully in order to find themselves, so to say.
Yes.
Or and some of them never come back. Some of us come back. But if you could speak a little bit about the transition time, going through this.
Yeah, beautiful. Transition time is something that we go through throughout our life. There will be transitions in our life. We will move to different locations. People will die, and that changes our role. We will change to different services. There will be lots of little transitions. And transitions are all part of growth. Just even a child, their body gets bigger, their minds get bigger, So transition is part of life. And yet sometimes when we become of age, we're 21, we're an adult now, we think, okay, I'm an adult, I'm grown up. And there are so many more transitions in life that sometimes hit us later on in life, especially I'd say around 40, 50, midlife crisis is what psychologists would call it. When you're like, you look back and you're like, I've been doing all of that, and I thought all that was going to make me happy. And now I'm not happy, actually. I'm angry. So who am I and what do I need to do? So that transition time is very, I could say stressful. And there's like this inner conflict. And we don't know who we are outside of what we've developed so far in our life. Like we've identified ourselves. I'm a devotee and this is what a devotee does, and we identify with that. And so, but then we start to see that there's holes in that identity. We start to see that, oh, maybe it wasn't so great that I left my kids. Maybe I wasn't so renounced. Maybe I was just a self-righteous, blind follower and arrogant about it. And maybe I was really just an insecure little girl who just wanted the spiritual teacher to give some approval. So sometimes in that transition, we're starting to see more truth about the lies we've told ourselves. So sometimes in that transition, it's painful. It's painful to kind of see the lies, although that truth will help us to grow further. There's some pain. And so in that transition, there's a lot of times I don't know who I am besides what I was. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to become what I want to think. I don't even know who I want to become. I but I know I can't be that anymore. I can't do that anymore. That's not working. I can't just be an impersonalist. I can't do that anymore. Who am I? It's an identity crisis, which I feel our entire life is about identity crisis. So we don't know I don't know who I am. Anyway, so, but that identity crisis feels so insecure, and disconcerting. So identity crisis is excruciating sometimes. It's excruciating. It's like dying before you die, but you have to live through that dying process. And so it's excruciating, and yet it's highly relevant, and it can only be taken in small steps. And so starting to develop a new identity is starting to do a practice or something, practice a quality that you want to align with, and maybe let go of one thing in the past that I can't do that anymore. So I can't go out and collect money and lie anymore. I can't do that anymore. And so, or for me, it was like starting to tell, when I was collecting money, starting to tell something that was closer to the truth and closer to the truth and closer to the truth, until I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't lie anymore. And so now I want to tell the truth. So it comes in steps, and it's not like and sometimes the steps are big steps. So I can't exactly tell you the answer to that, because it's unique to each person's unique life and life situations. But the main thing is you're looking at your past and you're seeing what didn't work or wasn't really aligned with your values, or what doesn't work anymore, and what you need, and starting to develop new ways of being and strategies to now develop yourself in that direction. And sometimes it means lots of change and grief and pain. So a lot of times we need personal one-on-one support during those particularly heavy transitions and identity crises in our life. That's what I experienced when I was 48, and I didn't have anybody to help me with my identity crisis, but I've been through it a few times, and I'm open to talking to you if you want to talk about it specifically. I hope that helped. That was pretty general, but it's a huge topic.
They're all huge topics. On the chat, Vaishnavi Vrinda Mataji is asking if you could say something about the Karuna Care courses.
Yes. Okay. Actually, yes. I'm a facilitator for Karuna Care courses, and I've been revamping some of the courses. The Karuna Care was started by Vrajapura Mataji, opened her heart up, and it's really wonderful work. There is a course coming up actually in 5 days or 4 days, Thursday, on trauma and addiction. Wow. And it's a really wonderful course, but we probably only have about 10 or 12 seats left. But I'm writing the course, getting it done before it starts. But I'm putting a lot of information in there because there's a lot of, not in denial about trauma, but just being a soul in a human machine is traumatic. Going through birth is traumatic. There is so much trauma that, that we don't talk about. And then there are other traumas also, but just even those two things are traumatic. And then because there's so much pain that we experience, and we don't know what to do with that pain, we numb the pain with addictions, which could be anything from, working. I became a workaholic to, substance abuse. And it's all a means to get rid of the pain. And the pain is actually existential. It's the pain of the soul. Like, who am I? And how can I get back home? So that course is starting. I can send did I send the link to you, Mangala? I sent the link to register for that course to Mangala Church. You can put it in the chat. But that's, and then there's a course, and the next course this year is the drama triangle, rescuer, savior, victim, and then forget the other one, like coach or challenger or something like that. That's another course that's coming up, the drama triangle. Yeah. So those courses are meant to really open people up. And I think I would love if every temple president could take at least 3 of the courses, just to be trauma informed, emotion informed, grief informed. I think it would make a huge difference. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Sounds good. How long does this trauma and addiction course run?
It's 6 weeks, 6 90-minute classes, and 5 weeks of homework, about an hour and a half homework per week. And then we come back and we discuss about the homework and what you learned and what you saw and what opened up for you, like that. Yeah.
And do you bring in any, dare I say, scholarly research regarding trauma and addiction?
Yes, we bring in, experts, Peter Levin. I mean, we don't bring them in personally, but we quote them, and we, refer to their books, Gabor Mate, Thomas Hubble, Bessel van der Kolk, who wrote the book, The Body Keeps the Score, about how trauma is stored in the body. And then, we talk about a few different things. So yes, we bring in, I tend to lean more heavily towards that because sometimes scriptures have been misused or misinterpreted. And and so, I mean, not that I don't bring in some scripture, but I try to just bring in more the general philosophy that it's traumatic for a soul to be in a human machine. It doesn't say that in the Bhagavad Gita, but it is traumatic for a soul to be in a human machine. And so I can say that with,
Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would say that the soul is embarrassed to be in the physical body. It's
exactly. Shame. That's a big one that I talk about in the course too. The shame of the soul, then it becomes perverted. And then we get this identity that I'm shameful, but then that keeps us hooked into staying in the material world again.
Yeah.
Because even though we're embarrassed, Krishna still loves us. He doesn't, he's like, okay, so you made a mistake. Let's come on back. I'm waiting for you. But
let's get on.
Punish ourselves.
Yes. Oh, Daya Chandrika, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Sukhavaha Mataji. Thank you so much for this topic. Yeah, it's a huge topic, and each question takes a lot. It's one-to-one. It's easier to get into it, what you really want. But I really appreciate your work. I also have both of your books. I like those kind of topics, especially when this psychology is connected with philosophy, and it's an amazing combination. You said something about my question already, you answered a little bit, but still I would like to ask, because, for example, just today I got a message for a good friend from here where I'm now, and she went to the doctor, like just checking, once in a year, but they found quite some serious things in her body. And she wrote me back and she said, I'm reading her message, it's a true test from Krishna, as I'm always focusing too much on the boys and family and others and not looking after my head. So now I'm going to change and start looking after my head better. So my
Yes.
question here is, out of your experience, and I can see also from around me, we can, many devotees or people are telling to one person, you have anger issue, or you can say no, it's okay to say no, but it doesn't happen. So what do you think, out of your experience, what does the change, when does the change truly happen? So what is the moment? Is it really that we need to get the information from the doctor that something is wrong with me? Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to change. Or so, like, this is really, really question. I'm really looking for the answer for when the
Okay.
change does happen. Yeah.
The change happens when we're ready for it. I was in my little box for 30 years because that felt safe to me. And the change happens sometimes when Krishna smashes that box and you have nothing to hold on to. Okay, you got to recalculate now. Sometimes that's when it happens because we don't know any better. We're in our little loop of what we know and what we know how to do, and we don't know any better until Krishna smashes our. So usually it happens when the pain of staying where we are is greater than the cost, the pain is greater than the payoff. And then we're like, okay, maybe I need to recalculate here. So, and a lot of times our suppressed emotions do come out in our body. We hold emotions in our body. And then it comes out in our body because the body keeps the score. The body doesn't know how to lie. We can tell ourselves, no, I'm fine. It's okay, I'm fine. And then the doctor says, you know what? You got some stuff going on in there. And you're like, oh, And so sometimes the body is the place where what do they say? The rubber meets the road. It's like, that's where you get it. It's like, oh, I need to take care of myself. So we get it when we get it. And then that's when we get it. And I'm wanting to put out more information so that maybe people will get a little more interested earlier on than me, so they don't have to be hit at the end. But it happens when it happens, and Krishna does everything perfectly. And, he wants to help us to go back. And sometimes he had to hit me with a sledgehammer to break my world open. And it hurt, but thank you.
Can I just add the question? You think this is the fear of change, or why do I need to wait so long?
Because we just the material world is all about samsara, and we just get stuck in these patterns, and we're on the hamster. We just get stuck in these patterns. I just do what I'm told, people pleaser, do what I'm told, yes. And we run our life and we think we're getting somewhere, and we're just on the hamster wheel. And then when we get a little older, a lot of times it doesn't happen till we're in our 40s, because then we can look back and we're like, oh, I'm not where I thought I would be. When I was 20, I thought I would be a pure devotee by now, and I'm not there. What went wrong? Then we reflect, we have something to reflect on. But when we're 20, I'm an adult now, I have my whole life in front of me, and so I'm going to conquer the world. And then we're not really in a reflective mode. But the good news is some young people are reading these books, and they're starting to be more reflective. And so we get it when we get it. And Krishna, it's never too late. It's never too late. I know one god brother of mine who was dying of cancer, and he got it 1 hour before he left his body. He got it. And it was a miracle. But it took a lot. 1 hour before he left. And it was like, thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. So
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have technically only 1 minute left, but I think we only just got started. Anissa has a question about what you think is how prevalent is spiritual bypassing in our movement?
It's rampant.
Rampant.
It's rampant. It's a what do you call it? It's a contagious disease. But it's not just in our movement, it's in the world. You know, the world is a domination, fast-paced culture. And naturally, we were all brought up in that shame-filled, dominate, power over, power under culture. And then it got transplanted. You know, if you transplant a tree that has a disease and you put it in a new soil, it still can have the disease in its system. And so it's prevalent. And that's one, I do one whole week on the trauma addiction course is on spiritual bypassing, one whole week. It's all about spiritual bypassing and how it just reinforces the shame that we already feel, because why the heck did I come here to this material world? But the exponential shame from living our lives and making so many mistakes and, you know, our self-identity as a shameful being. So it's prevalent and it's very harmful, actually. So anyway, that's why I bring it up in the trauma and addiction, because people can be re-traumatized by spiritual bypassing, and it can keep them stuck in their pained image of themselves. And so, you know, if everybody can learn about spiritual bypassing, that would be a good beginning too. There you go. So
good. Thank you so much. I'm a little shameful to say now our time is up. But we do kind of keep to a schedule. But I am thinking
that's integrity. That's integrity.
I'm thinking we may pester you again for some more. But I think it's good if any of you who are listening could take up Mother Sukhavaha's course, and then we might also learn, those of us who might not have time to take the course, we may learn from you, and in that way it can go on.
Yes.
And I wanted to say, one thing I really appreciate is from your description of your journey, I can understand you've really been through the ringer. And I think New Vrindavan was especially unlike any number of devotees for whom they couldn't take it, so they just dropped everything and disappeared, and who knows where they all went. You stuck it out, worked it out, and now you have something, you know, so valuable to share with the rest of the devotee community. So this is glorious.
I put all my mistakes in my books, so you don't have to make the same ones. You can make your own mistakes, but you don't have to make the ones I made. And it's glorious because Krishna smashed my bubble. It's glorious because Krishna is very kind. That's why.
So let's all unmute now and say our thank yous and haribols to Mother Sukhavaha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I'm so happy to meet you and to be in this assembly. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And regarding next Saturday, I have to say I do not yet know whether we can have a Saturday Sanga, because I'm going to be at the Serbian camp. And I don't know what is the situation there with internet, but we hope to know soon, and then we can decide yes or no. Otherwise, in any case, as we like to say, keep safe, keep sane, chant, be happy. We were reading to the last couple of days the verse in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 8. Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudya cha. He says, in all circumstances, in all times, remember me, Krishna, and fight. So he wants us to do two things at once. And he says, Mayi arpita mano buddhir, offering your mind and your buddhi, your intelligence, your discrimination to me. Mam eva ishyasi asangshaya, there's no doubt you will come to me. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Okay.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj ki jai.